Hi, in this tutorial we will be looking at how to declare an array list. So declaring an array list, because it's actually a class, it's similar to creating an object, but there's a little extra piece to it. So when I want to create a new array list, I'm going to say array list, and then the little greater than less than signs for our, I always call it brackets, but that's what we're using here. And then we need to put in there the type of data that it's going to store. So string or integer or double. And as you read in the notes, you know that array lists cannot do primitives. So they can't do int or lowercase double. They have to use the actual classes. So you're going to be using the word integer or double as in the class, the integer class and double class. I can also create an array list of objects as well. So to start for our first one, we'll just say array list, if I want to create an array list of strings, and I'll call this one names. And if I just do this to start with, right now I have created it, but I haven't initialized it yet. So you would kind of get a null pointer issue if you tried to actually use names without initializing it. So I'm going to go ahead right now. I typically like to initialize mine right when I create them. So I'm going to back up here and say equals new array list, and then string, and then empty set of parentheses. And that would create a new array list called names. Now, the other issue I have is that if I go to run this right now, we're going to see that I do have an error because it's not sure where to find array list. So another major note that you need to know that when we're working with array lists, that we need to actually import the util.ArrayList, but we can just shortcut that by saying import java.util.star as we've been doing, and that covers all the different classes that are in the util package. So we know that we already use that for scanner, so now we can just use the same import statement with our array list. So now when I go to run it this time, you'll see that there's no errors. The program's not going to do anything yet, but there's no errors. So just to show another example, I could also say array list, and then if I wanted to do an array list of, say, integers, I would say integer mynums equals new array list, bracket again, integer, and then the empty parentheses. So now I've created two array lists, one that's going to store double or strings and one that's going to store integers. You can see I have a little typo there. And while we're at it, we'll just do another one, array list double, and we'll call this one my desc for my decimals equals new array list. Notice that I'm capitalizing the word double because we're actually using the double class and not the primitive type double. Just like with integer, we use integer class and not the primitive type int. So when you're working with array lists, you just need to remember that little part. But that's basically all there is to declaring array lists.